Yeah, I know. I've got this same freaking jacket on again, and it smells. It's off tap. It needs a bit of water with some washing powder. No, it's not that bad. I've worn a lot worse over the years. It's just so cold. Oh my God, it's cold. And no, I only wear it when I do this, and then I take it off. No, I'm only joking. I've always got this thing on in this cold. It's friggin' it's good weather for Eskimos at the moment. Yeah, she's definitely a little bit nippy. I just want to have a little yarn on not feeling happy and not being happy and not liking your current situation that we all find ourselves in when yeah, when we're experiencing struggle and uh, life's hard and nothing seems to get resolved. It's the same stuff day in day out. There doesn't seem any way out of the struggle. Um, and like it or lump it, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. Um, it can bring you to the next stage of a form of evolution where hopefully you find a release and that release is comfortable and it's healthy. Like we all seek a release and you know, females do it through different mediums, but shopping and yeah, and you know, like hanging out with the girlfriends and guys do it too. You know, like we have a drink and sometimes we can go a little bit over the top here and there. Or it could be drugs. That could be a release for either gender, females and male. It could be food. It could be travel. Um, there's a lot of things that we use as a coping mechanism that we fall back on and we enjoy. And I think it's good to enjoy the release and freedom from your behavior. It doesn't matter what you do. It's nice to enjoy something that um, you enjoy doing, and it serves a purpose in one's life. Without that, um, you'd just be going through the paces, wouldn't you? And you know, you're going to have times where that was one of the good things about jail. It made me look at other ways to cope, other than you know, drugs weren't always on hand in jail. The supply was up and down quite a lot because of getting it into the system at times. But yeah, the 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 problem with struggle is when we have no release, and if your release with what you're doing in respect to coping and having fun and and enjoying life. If that release isn't working, then it's time to change. But you can't change anything if you think there's nothing there to change. If you're unhappy and you're not acknowledging it, well, there's good luck with it. It's and I don't mean to be sarcastic when I say good luck with it, but it's a fact. If we are not happy, or if we are not content, or if we've accepted a life out of we're telling ourselves we can't have any better. Well, that's it, isn't it? That's it. That's the that's the life that we can become conditioned to, and don't be fooled. Also, there's a lot of people that live in pain and live in struggle and accept it. Accept accept hardship. Accept accept that's just how it is, because they can't change. There's and you know you justify it, that it's okay, but it's not okay. And but what constitutes, like a content existence, a balanced, at ease, accepting position in a life? Like, what constitutes that? Well, finding what works for you personally, I think, constitutes it. And that's really different from an individual point of view. Everyone is so different. So if that does constitute um, a content existence, and there's nothing coming at you where you're deciding to attach yourself, and you start and believe it from a negative point of view. That's not happiness. When you you're being attacked with voices within your head. But I'm here to tell you that you can overcome that by standing up to that and acknowledging that you're better than that, and acknowledging that your worth is a lot better than than cowing to negative voices that are saying that you're not good enough, you'll never amount to anything, you're not going to have what you want, life's hard, you criticize yourself all the time, you're embarrassed and feel ashamed with who you are, you don't deserve any good things in your life, you don't like yourself. And that's enough, and whatever you've got to manage internally to stand up to it. Well, I did that. And I continuously stand up to it. I have to take it on. That's the only way I know how to talk about it and to deal with it and to expose it. The more exposure your negative self-talk's got to the world and to everybody else around you about how struggling it is, if you're struggling. But acknowledging struggle is probably one of the hardest things to do because we become so comfortable in it, and we don't and we become comfortable because we don't know any way to deal with it. So we've got to accept a shit existence, or we've got to accept feeling unhappy because we can't reach those points that we need to reach to mend, to clear it out of our system and move on from it. But you can't change what you don't see. Um, I remember when I first got to rehab, and people were saying, "Oh, you're angry, you're threatening, you're intimidating." No, no, I'm not. No, because I didn't see that. I didn't see any of that. So, more than likely, the general consensus from outside people would have thought I was in denial, and I'm just not admitting it. But the reality was, I was so conditioned to survive in those harsh environments that I pinpointed that as a strength, to be angry and threatening and intimidating, because that's how I survived. And I get that. I get that's how people survive. Um, so when somebody comes along and says, well, start challenging that, well, that's that's their survival mode. That's their core. Um, but to get out of it, it needs to be challenged. To move on from it, it certainly needs to be challenged, and that applies not just for me personally, but that applies to everybody. Um, just because you don't see it, it doesn't mean that it's not there. And probably if you're not seeing it, that could be an indicator that the binoculars may need to go on. If you want more in a life, that you're motivated um, to want to get out of how you've been living, and you want to change it, or a situation comes along and you end up in an environment, or you end up seeing something, or something happens where you resonate, and you go, okay, only you can get out of it. Only you can get out of that. No one can get you out of it. And if you think that somebody's going to get you out of it, um, think again. Or if you think it's going to be something else outside of yourself that that's going to come along and hit you over the head with a magic wand, well, I suppose it's a possibility that it can happen, but I wouldn't want to leave that to chance. But again, you've got to see that there is something um, for you to manage, or for you to see that you can identify, that could be a blockage for you attaining the life that you truly deserve, and it's greatness. And you know, greatness in gratitude, greatness in appreciation, um, greatness in humbleness, greatness in being aware of your lower self. There is a lower self and there is a higher self. The higher self will always take the high road of love and acceptance and forgiveness and unselfishness and caring, um, support, being open to possibilities, seeing things that aren't there as something that it could stop. It could stop you from moving forward. Yeah, everything's on the table. You know, possibilities are everywhere to potentially find ways out of struggle. Only you can find your way out of struggle. And you're going to act and do something. You're behaving in ways now where you're dealing with things and coping. We all are. But we can create. We are creators. Yeah. And sometimes to create, um, you've got to learn new things. You've got to learn things that you didn't know. You've got to learn things that you can't see. Like if you were to go and learn a degree, you wouldn't know the contents of a complete marketing degree or you know, a Bachelor of Arts in something. Like you don't know the contents to that from standing in a position where you're looking in from an outside point of view thinking that's what you want to do, but when you jump in there you start learning, well, that's about self-development also. It's no different. You know, be open to possibilities, be open to every bit of information that comes your way as potential leverage to to find tools that you can use to give you freedom and optimism and hope and motivation and drive and that inspires you. You get excited. You have the bomb. You have it. You have it in your hand. You can create anything that you want. So if you want to subscribe, yeah, I'd appreciate that. Hit the bell, leave a comment, um, and yeah, I've got a book out, all the W's, kinghitbook.com. I'm also on Anchor. I've got a podcast. You can have a look at that. That's completely different to the stuff I'm doing here. Oh my God, that podcast was back in my heyday. Um, yeah, I was pretty wild. I was out there. From that to this, that's pretty much the podcast to this stuff that I'm doing. 40 years later, with you guys here on YouTube. So have a great day. It's good to be alive. Be grateful. Be happy. Stay humble. Be aware of how you cope and how you act and don't disregard your dream. That's either lying within you at the moment and it hasn't been awoken, or it is, and you've justified it for too long. and you're going to stop it. You're going to do something about it, hopefully for yourself and for the good of, if it's a good motive. All right, take care and have a great Thursday.